In today's Empyrean society, neo-feudalism has finally liberated all humans from their burdens as laborers, except for those brave few who are responsible for the coordination of our automated systems. This organizational structure evolved from a dogma known as classical capitalism, but these dark origins of our idyllic system are largely unknown to the general population. The Museum of Capitalism is an institution dedicated to educating visitors about and memorializing the offenses, injuries, and wrongdoings of classical capitalism. The museum is sponsored by the generous contributions of several executives, without whom we would be unable to complete our mission of educating the masses. The institution found its home in the Southdale Shopping Center in Edina, Minnesota, one of the last remnants of this dark era. The shopping mall represented a center of commerce and a home to hundreds of independent organizations producing and exchanging countless goods and services. Each organization paid monthly for the geographical privilege afforded by such a proximity to other shops. These shops acted symbiotically to leech the independent personal wealth of patrons near and far. Yes, Southdale is certainly the ideal place to memorialize such an archaic system. Inside, we find a representation of what a shopping mall used to be, much in the style of a living history museum. Our artists have interpreted countless historical documents and texts to create a number of accurate fictional logos to improve the immersion of our Museum of Capitalism experience. For your safety and convenience, the Museum of Capitalism has simplified the mall into a linear progression, so visitors may more easily comply with federal social distancing regulations and prevent unwanted social interactions. Our visitors have the unique opportunity to take part in several traditions from the era of capitalism, including simulated purchases, reproductions of extinct foods and beverages, and experiencing the ambiance of the shopping mall. The fast fashion exhibit discusses the inconsistencies of the consumption system. Under capitalism, consumers were expected to purchase new items regularly to align with changing fashion trends. Retailers and consumers were both aware that what was in style would change quickly and that fashion is inherently cyclical, but they maintained the ownership model nonetheless. Fast fashion sought to stay current with fashion trends through cheap production practices, including unsustainable materials, abusive labor practices, and poor overall quality. The Empty exhibit questions the heart of the classical capitalist system: supply and demand, market adaptation, market capacity, etc. These empty shops, a staple in any capitalist shopping mall, promptly discarded any ideas of the perfection of the capitalist system. This spot was once a stable source of income for the shopping mall, but now it is merely a resource drain. The Curio Shop exhibit is a monument to capitalistic accumulation. Under the capitalist system, ownership had an adversarial relationship with the continued development of markets. As a result, goods were specifically built to become unusable after a period of time so that consumers would have to purchase new goods. Beyond that, marketing strategies encouraged consumers to constantly purchase more objects, creating a culture of waste and accumulation. In this exhibit, you will find no frivolity hiding the true nature of the objects being sold. Capitalism deals only in destruction, waste, and greed. The prescription eyewear exhibit highlights the cruelty of the healthcare system under classical capitalism. Optic surgery was available, but it used to be highly expensive and invasive. Alternatively, corrective lenses were used. These came in the form of either eyeglasses or small plastic lenses that contacted the eye directly, that would need to be worn at all times. These corrective lenses were very expensive and, in the case of the direct contact elements, disposable, requiring frequent and regular replacement. Under the classical capitalist system, those with vision problems had to pay to become fully functioning members of society, highlighting but one of the many dangerous inequalities of the capitalist system. The national cuisine exhibits are a scathing indictment of the dangers of brand marketing. Because of the free market, consumers were allowed to choose not only which products they would purchase, but where they would purchase those products from. This created a system where countless retailers would attempt to sell one object better than the other sellers of that object, or in a more attractive way. This resulted in the phenomena known as brand marketing. In brand marketing, a retailer would establish a brand identity, a cohesive appearance for products and sales locations to be more attractive and recognizable to potential and repeat customers. Here, the brand adopted is that of a national identity, but significantly stereotyped to be more recognizable to the consumer. The County Services exhibit stands a reminder of how corrupt the government used to be under classical capitalism, ultimately becoming a brand like any other and vying for the precious dollars required to maintain state programs through the systems of economic competition. On the menus in this exhibit, you will see various ways federal, state, or county governments manipulated the capitalist system to take money from its citizens. Ahead, you will notice the trappings of an overbearing bureaucracy, long lines, overt surveillance, and abundance of intentional systemic entrapments intended to help the government produce continual income from the people it is meant to protect. Here is the gift shop, where you may complete simulated capitalist purchases to receive what capitalists would call souvenirs. Please note that these souvenirs must be returned upon exiting the museum. Through these experiences, it is hoped that all our visitors will learn the temptations and dangers of the capitalist system on a more personal level. In this way, visitors may develop a deeper understanding of how the world used to be and, perhaps, a greater appreciation for the era in which we find ourselves today.